So, welcome to episode 8 of Brewers on Bourbon. And today we're going to be talking about barrels because at Cypress Grove, that's really what it's all about is the barrels. We don't distill the product here. We focus on buying and bringing in really quality products. So, it all starts actually ahead of the barrels getting here. We actually have some tasting. We order in products. We see what the availability is from different suppliers, and get in some samples from the different maturities and products. And then we put some orders in. Of course, there's a lot of paperwork. You have to get a transfer and bond filed for each supplier that you have, and it's a little bit bureaucratic. But once we get that done, we do make the orders, and then we bring the barrels in, and we get them into our brewery. Actually, I guess it's our little rick house. But once we get them in the rick house or in the shed here in the brewery, then we're gonna start doing some transfers. So that's where all the aging starts. And so today's show is gonna be about how we transfer these spirits and how we're aging them and what this whole process looks like. So hope you enjoy today's presentation. So today is transfer day. We got 5 barrels that came in last week or the week ahead of that. And you can see 4 of them are over here. We're also going to transfer this one. It's an 8-year now, as of had its birthday just a couple days ago, April 24th. And so 8-year rye whiskey, 95% rye, below GP. These two are going to wait. What do we got here? This is a high rye bourbon, a 36% rye, which is what we've got in our bottles right now. But this is an older one, 24. It's a 5-year, but I think I've decided I'm holding this. I'm going to wait till it hits 6 before we transfer it out. We leave it in the original barrels, and then we can claim the age statement of that barrel. Because once it goes into a secondary barrel, we mark that as a second aging, not as a primary aging. That's the way it's supposed to be done. This one is a 100% wheat whiskey. So pretty interesting as well. And it's from 19. So it would also be a 5-year, and I think I'm going to wait maybe to get a 6-year on it as well. You can see here we're working on this barrel. This is an 8-year bourbon, 21% rye in the mash bill. It was done in 6. So you can see here we're transferring into this barrel, which is what came out of there is the Michelle's Vanilla Porter. But super good beer. And I popped that thing open, smelled it, and man, it smells great. When we're all done, we'll mark them up like this. You can see this is the stuff we've already been aging. This is the Beltyfest Marzen barrel, so there's bourbon in here, high rye bourbon. Been in there now for since December 2nd, so getting some age on that. Down here in the other French oak barrel, we have this was Carolyn's smoked porter, and it went in also on 12-3. So both of these are the bourbons. This is what your tag looks like that we get from MGP. The date code there, 2016 I being the month of something, I don't know, towards the end of the year, I think. You have to figure it out. You have to count it out, and I'm not going to do that. The 15th day. That's their DSP number. Our DSP number is IL20117, just as a fun fact. And then you can see their barrel code, and then I don't know what the LESVP is. I'm guessing maybe a mash code, but I'm not sure. These are in bungs. Why? I don't know. 4 of the 5 barrels were in bungs. Last time, the only in bung we had was the rye barrel. Guess what? The only side bung we have this time is the rye barrel. So I don't know what these guys at MGP, how they're making that decision. But now, moving on, next is the bourbon, or the barley barrel. It's a barley whiskey. I think it's 5 years old. And we're transferring it into this barrel, which is had what we called Big Lucy, which was a big chocolate porter. And then we will finish up by putting the rye into the Sky barrel. That Sky is a really, really nice stout. Really nice stout. And that barrel's over there. So the code on this one, the barley. So this was brewed December on the 19th, 2019. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 4 years, 5 years. Sorry, 5 years. I'll point this out to you. This is actually the barrel we emptied, the 8-year bourbon. You can see she actually cracked out here. She split out. There was a little leakage, it looks like here. Even a little bit recent leakage. Not a lot. I've been watching it, and there wasn't any spout on the floor, so I don't think anything much happened once it got here. But obviously, these barrels, it's amazing that they hold as well as they do. It's done. This is the rye whiskey. It's an 8-year-old rye whiskey. And you can see this is what it looks like. So I know a lot of you folks like to buy barrels and use them. Not that this can't be cleaned up. A lot of this would wash right off. It's either charcoal or it's some of the black mold, but it does look a little rough when you look at it. And this one has also, some of the staves have gotten a little funky. See here? Got a lot of, this one's popped up, this one's down, right around the bung here, which is a side bung for some reason. Don't know why. Right around the bung here, it's popped up a little. So, generally, from what I've seen with the barrels we brought in here over the past few years, the older they are, obviously, the rougher they look. You buy a really less aged bourbon or rye, and you're going to end up with a newer looking barrel. This one's got 8 years on it. And it looks. So now this is the final part of this step. We're actually transferring a beer that I've made previously, a big beer, into one of these barrels. So secondary aging. In the past, we've been going like 2 years, but since we're kind of at the end of the run here on our brewery, I don't know that we'll be going 2 years with this. But regardless, this is going to re-season this barrel that just came in, this MGP barrel, the 21% rye, the 21% rye bourbon, 8-year, which is been drinking a little bit today, and it's really nice. We are now refilling it with this porter, Tanzanian vanilla porter. Really, really nice beer. I think it was that's an 11.2 it says. How long it'll be in there, I don't know. We've been doing 2 years on the last few rounds of barrels, but since we're at the end of our run with the brewery, probably we won't go that long on this one. But we don't really know what's going to happen at the end of the year, so can't say for sure on anything. But what we do know is that we're going to refill this barrel, and eventually, maybe even in only 6 months or so, we'll pull this beer out, sell it, and we will refill this with some more spirits. Keeps us in barrel stock, in secondary barrels for aging for quite a while, because we've got quite a few in there already, and now I'm refilling this one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of those that are already in bourbon barrels, and we're going to move that beer into this barrel over here. And also I've got an empty one up here on the top that I put inside. That'd be the bourbon or the barley whiskey, the single malt whiskey, and the 95% rye whiskey. So we're gonna move a couple beers into those for some short-term aging, probably a month, 2 at the most, just to kind of pop those beers a little bit with some additional flavors, and again, re-season the barrels so they could be used for secondary.
And then that would get all our spirit barrels filled up. And I would have a couple of beer barrels empty, ready to go for the next round of spirits. We actually have two more. These two that are right here in front of us are actually still full. We've got a, what do we have? We have a 36% rye that we're going to sit on until it gets to be an 8. And we got a wheat whiskey. I think it's about a 5. I'm not sure. Really nice. These are nice products. I think you're going to like them. And so yeah, that's what those two will probably go in those barrels. Those beer barrels are going to empty out here in the next week and get into the empty spirit barrels. And then of course we've got at the end of the week we're going to pick up 2 from Kenny Farms. Hang on one second, I got to change the keg. So yeah, so we'll have 2 more coming in. Those are going to be wheated bourbons, I'm sorry, and we're going to hang on to them until they turn 5 in August, I think it is. So we're going to have lots of different products, a lot of stuff. I know there's some non-rye lovers out there, some people that want things other than rye. So we're going to have that. We have that soon, actually, with this barley, this single malt barley. I think you're going to like that. Or honestly, this 8-year bourbon, it's got a low rye content of 21, but man, it is really nice. So you may want to try that even if you're not a big rye lover. So anyway, that's what's been going on. We're about done with the day here. Still a little more work to do in another day, but getting everything moved around takes a lot of time, and I have to take my time, make sure I don't screw anything up. So cheers.